Well, good evening, Tallahassee, and welcome to Monday night's edition of FSU Weather. Right now, we're going to start off with a live look at Doak. We've got a couple of clouds in the sky, sun peeking through. Some of them, it looks like we've got a couple of rain showers popping up in a couple of different areas. Not really where our sky cam is, but it's 85, and you got a little bit of a breeze to help you out there today. Temperatures around the rest of the area, 85, 80s for the most part, with the exception of Valdosta up there in Georgia. In terms of your headlines, though, we've got a lot to talk about. We've got some pretty active tropics. Seems like there wasn't enough room in the Atlantic last week. Now, all of a sudden, we have a ton going on. A little bit of relief from the heat right now, but we're gonna see if that pans out. And then, as well as Mythbuster Monday. All this and more on FSU Weather.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm student meteorologist Daniela Streety here with Mila Belisario, and we've had quite a slightly cooler start to our day today, considering what it has been for the past several weeks.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely noticed it on the way to class this morning. It felt like we were finally getting that first taste of fall, and it was nice to walk at 8 a.m. and not be sweating on my way to class.
That's so real. Even I walked to class like towards the middle of the day today, and it felt pretty pleasant because we had those overcast skies laying over Tallahassee today, which was a little bit more comfortable than what we've been seeing. Although it was a little gloomier, we now have sunshine peeking out now, but it was a gloomier start to the day, but it was overall a cooler start, which I think is more important right now.
Right. Definitely nice to have the sun not beaming down on you when you're carrying a heavy backpack.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think that we're finally going to start seeing our first signs of fall, right?
Yeah. Hopefully soon we're going to get that major cold front soon. Not now. We can't see one right now, but we're manifesting that very soon we're going to get that cold front that's going to push in and definitely give us that official fall. And then we can kind of take a break from the heat for a couple months. But for now, we're still remaining pretty hot, pretty muggy. And something to still talk about, nothing affecting our area, but the tropics are still ramping up. So we have a lot to, kind of cover here. We got a lot going on in terms of tropics,
Oh, yeah. Although Imelda is not going to make landfall, it seems, we do have a lot of rain coming into the Carolinas and Georgia. And overall, just a lot of the more eastern part of the southeast. But now we're going to take it to Ainsley, where she's going to talk about more of the tropics.
Yeah, first we're going to be taking a look at the tropics. We've got a lot going on here, and right now we're going to start off with Umberto. Nothing that's going to be affecting us right now. You can see it's huge right now. It is a Category 4. It's going to be making its northward turn, and then it's going to get ripped apart kind of by the Coriolis, getting rushed over to the eastern part of the Atlantic. And this is going to be the different routes it could go, although it really doesn't vary, and it's not going to affect anyone on land. Bermuda, just sitting right out here, is the only thing it might have to contend with, but we're not even going to be worried about that. Taking a look at what it looks like on satellite, you can see it's making some good time. It's moving along somewhat decently right there, 140 mile per hour winds, movement 13 miles an hour, pressure still decently low, but again, nothing that we really have to worry about. In terms of the tropical outlook, though, this is for her tropical storm Imelda, and that is going to give a couple of different paths, but still the same general northeastward turn, and that's going to be in thanks to Hurricane Umberto, actually. It's going to be help pulling it out as it makes its own northward turn, kind of bracing this to pull out with it as well. And in terms of the wind speeds right now, nothing that we really have to worry about. 65 mile per hour inside the core. That has just passed over the Bahamas. So most of the aftermath is really just the rip currents that we could see onshore across Florida and Georgia and some of the Carolinas as well. This is what it's going to look like in terms of the future winds. This is the European model. You can see the core kind of starting to take shape around there, and then Hurricane Umberto also alongside that. And then they're going to kind of go out to sea together. They're not going to really mix, but they're going to move along with each other, and that is going to mostly be out of our hair for the time being. And then in terms of the radar, that's going to show that as well. Those two are going to go in tandem with each other. Pretty much the same story all around here. Not a ton of differentiation anymore. But now I think we're going to take it on over to Florida with Daniela. She's going to tell us a little bit more about the Sunshine State.
Yeah, so across the area, we have lots of blue skies. Now, we did have a couple of rain showers earlier, but now we're seeing some passing clouds and the sun's beginning to peek back out, which is nice. But overall, that cloud cover today did give us that cooler start. We're looking across the Big Bend in South Georgia, mostly backscatter on the radar right now. We do, however, have an isolated shower towards Suwannee County as well. So Lake City areas across the I-10, I-75 corridor, you may get some heavier rain showers around that area as well. And across the area, those temperatures staying mostly in the low to mid 80s. We even have a little cooler spot, 78 in Valdosta right now, probably because they got some of that rain cooled showers, giving them a little bit more of those pleasant temperatures across the area right now. Those dew points, though, are still staying pretty sticky across the area, sitting in the upper 60s and 70s as well. And that just makes sense with the showers that we have had in the area. And because of that, the feels like temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer than what it is actually outside. So it could feel like upper 80s to low 90s in some areas, especially those where the sun is peeking back out right now. For tonight, however, those temperatures are going to drop a little bit more on the milder side, kind of what we've been seeing for the past several weeks. So it's mostly on the low 70s, maybe even in the upper 60s as well there in Thomasville. But overall tonight, it's going to be a little bit warmer, maybe slightly drier than what it has been. But again, those passing showers are going to come from the northeast, considering Imelda's going to steer some of that rain into the area. But other than that, we're going to see passing clouds for the next day or so going into the mid parts of your work week. Not a lot of rain to be expected in the forecast. Planning to walk your furry friend tomorrow morning, staying in those 70s most of the time, overcast skies, so nothing to be concerned of for tomorrow morning. Turns for the rest of the night, that is the trend. We're going to see some cloud cover as well as those mid to low 70s as you get up tomorrow morning. And now we're going to transition things over to Florida with Jack. So how's the Sunshine State holding up?
Well, obviously it's not really sunny. You can see we have scattered showers all throughout the area. Really just the outer bands that we've been watching, and this is all from Tropical Storm Imelda. Now we take a closer look at you in Miami. Same thing, and that's really what we have been watching. Scattered showers all throughout the area, and that will continue as we go to central part of the state and as we go into Jacksonville, Ponte Vedra area. Same way we will have some showers moving in and out of the area. Thankfully, when we talk about this later, we will have a chance where we won't have showers. And this is what's keeping our current temperatures a little lower than normal. 81 for you in Orlando, 76 for you in West Palm Beach. This is all thanks to the showers that have been making the temperatures lower than what it's normally expected. Now, as we go into tonight in Florida, the same thing that we've been talking about, just some showers, scattered showers as we go on, but overall pretty cloudy skies throughout the area. Look at this, my lovely hometown, 72 for you in Pensacola. Mom and Dad, you might want to go out and walk the dog. It'd be a great night to do that. As we go with our future radar, again, really what we've been talking about all day, just scattered showers moving in through the area. Again, on Tuesday, mainly just the east coast of Florida. Nothing to worry about if you are in the Panhandle, just some clouds as we go throughout the day on Tuesday and Wednesday for you in the Panhandle. Now, as we go into tomorrow's forecast, the same thing that we've really been talking about, but thankfully we'll have a nice change into some sunny weather as we get some nice dry conditions, bringing up our temperatures back up into the 90s for you in Miami and Fort Myers. So that's really what we've been watching across the entire state of Florida. And now I'm going to send it over to Mila, where she will be taking a wider range into the southeast. So Mila.
Thank you, Jack. Yes, as you mentioned, we do have Imelda bringing a lot of cloud cover and rain into the southeast, and that is reflected in Tampa, as you do have a lot of cloud cover. But I do love to see the beautiful blue skies across the rest of the southeast, and we do see Imelda reflected on the radar, really just dumping rain into from the outer bands into Florida, and just dumping more and more rain into the Carolinas. So maybe if you're heading home on your commute back from work, especially on I-95, that's something you'll want to look out for. And we do have a thunderstorm outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, but it's not severe, so nothing to worry about. Tomorrow just expect some rain. But for now, we are definitely experiencing some hot conditions. In Florida, it is a little cooler out because of those higher dew points, but especially on the more western side of the southeast, it is just very hot, very dry, as you can see as well. And it is going to be a little muggier in Florida and in the Carolinas and Georgia, and that's just from Tropical Storm Imelda. And these are going to be your feels like temperatures, and it's definitely going to feel a little hotter where your dew points are closer to your temperatures because it's bringing in some hotter air. So just something to be aware of. We are not really experiencing any fall-like temperatures yet, but hopefully we will see that soon. For tonight, at least if you're on the western side of the southeast, because your dew points are a little lower, you will be experiencing some cooler temperatures, just some cloud cover. And tomorrow you will wake up to another hot day. I hate to be the bearer of bad news if you're wanting some fall weather, but now we're going to take it to Daniela, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the rest of the United States.
Yeah, so currently across the country, we're mostly staying dry with the exceptions of a couple of areas. One of them we'll point out is around the northern side of the country and into the Carolinas as well. We did have a stationary front kind of out in the Atlantic as well as Imelda, so that's kind of triggered some rain to being pushed onshore, especially towards Raleigh and DC and Norfolk and all those areas up there as well. So they're going to see a little bit of non-severe to marginal severe weather right now, and that is kind of why we have flooding concerns for that area. Seeing that they had a cold front also bring a lot of rain to those areas last week. Another area to watch is up towards the Four Corners and as well as the panhandle of Oklahoma and northern Texas as well. Seeing scattered showers and thunderstorms across Albuquerque and Denver as well. So something to keep an eye on. And lastly, we do have a front pushing in off of the Pacific Northwest into Northern California, most of Oregon and Washington as well. So Portland, Seattle, Medford, those are areas, again, especially in Medford, we have those heavier showers and possibly thunderstorms going into those areas as well. Now, thankfully, a lot of the weather that's going to move in for tomorrow is going to be staying on the non-severe side. So you're just going to have those showers and slightly to maybe possibly strong thunderstorms, but nothing severe to be concerned about for the next day or so. Current temperatures across the country are staying mostly above average, as we have been seeing that trend throughout the whole entire month of September. Lots of oranges across the country. However, we do have a slightly cooler spot, especially in those higher elevations. Denver's seeing those scattered showers and storms sitting at 70 degrees. Higher elevations going to see a little bit of those cooler temperatures. Again, we've seen those 60s and rain. Casual Seattle with their typical weather staying rainy and mild as well. Across the country here on the other side, 75 in Washington, D.C., 76 in Boston. So lots of mild temperatures across the country. That's been the trend, and a lot of drought conditions are still existent, especially on the southwest side of the country as well as the southeast. So hopefully we'll get some rain and bring some relief to those areas, as they definitely need some rain. Now into the next couple of days, we do see that rain pushing across the country and starting to fizzle out a little bit, especially keep an eye out here on the radar for some fun time out here with the hurricanes, with Imelda and Humberto kind of interacting with one another and shifting off into the Atlantic. It's really interesting and cool to see, especially as a meteorologist. So going into tonight, we're going to see a lot of those more milder temperatures. We're going to see some 50s across the areas on those western parts of the country, 54 in Seattle, 57 in Billings, and then those 60s and 70s going across the southeast and the plains as well. Tomorrow, we're going to ramp up a lot like we did today, seeing a lot of those upper 80s and 90s, 70s across the southwest, and the 60s up in those upper elevations, but overall above average temperatures to expect. But thankfully, the western side of the country will see some relief for the next week or so. But now we're going to push it back to Jack and Ansley for our Mythbuster Monday.
Yes, thank you so much, Danielle. And again, we are very excited. Our lovely team leader, Ayana, puts together the Mythbuster Monday. And I'm so excited to doing that today. So yeah, so let's talk about it. And what it is large and heavy vehicles such as SUVs and pickups are safe to drive through floodwaters. Now, what do you think, Ainsley?
No.
Yeah.
Just because you got a big truck doesn't mean that you are safe from the waters. Nobody is.
That is 100% true. I do think that is a myth too. I mean, something that people think is correct, but no, if you have any amount of water, you still have the chance of going. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Let's take a look. Let's see what they got. False. Wow. Big surprise.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen those, like, the only thing I would think that's even safe is those marsh, have you seen that? The
Yes.
like marsh things.
I think I've
I don't know
heard
what
about
they're
them
called.
before, but no, I kind of know what you're talking
But that's the
about.
only thing I
so.
trust, and they can only go through a certain amount of water. They can't even get too deep. So I would say no one is safe. Don't test it
Yes.
in terms of this.
And like we talked about, it is common belief that larger the vehicle, the deeper the water it can drive through. That is false. Any amount of water can cause your car to submerge in a matter of instincts. So make sure you know that fact.
Yeah, and also water can not just damage, well, it can not just endanger you, but it can also damage your car, which I know you might care in the moment a little bit more about that than you do your own life. We see this happen, but you don't want to get a car repair bill as big as that. So it can damage your electrical system, it can damage your exhaust system, it can be very damaging altogether, but the real cost is your life. Don't do it at all. But now I think we're going to take it on over to our next segment, and I believe that is with Daniela tell us what we're talking about, Daniela.
Yeah, so we're going back to closer to home. We're taking a look at the beach cam out at Shell Point, looking very beautiful right now, 85 degrees, mostly sunny. You do see those clouds in the background, maybe passing clouds here or there. Dog walk forecast for tomorrow morning, staying mostly cloudy as you start your day tomorrow, staying in those lower to mid 70s throughout your morning. And that's kind of what we kind of saw today. So it's a little bit of a copy paste forecast from the start of today. And the hair cast for today, definitely on the curlier side with those dew points. You may not be able to see it on the camera, but my hair is definitely frizzy today. I would even argue it might be even over here. That's at least for my personal preference. But for as long as it goes for airport delays, no delays across Tallahassee International, and that goes much of the same for every major airport across the country. So no delays to be expected across the area. Pollen reports, I know a lot of people were sneezing in synoptic class today, maybe because of the pollen. So we're going to see a little bit more of that, especially for that grass pollen and tree pollen. Thankfully, the ragweed pollen will stay a little bit on the lower side. So make sure to take that Zyrtec, Claritin, whatever you need to get through your days, and hopefully don't sneeze too much, guys. In terms of the stargazing forecast for tonight, going to be fair conditions. You are going to have those passing clouds, so it may not be the best night to do so, but if you want to try to go out tonight and do that, that will be a good time to do so. 8% waxing crescent is your moon phase, and again, that sunrise is going to be tomorrow morning at 7:30, so get ready for that if you want to take some beautiful sunrise pictures. In terms of your weekday forecast, much of the same stories we've been seeing all September, lots of sunshine and low rain chances, but thankfully those temperatures are going to stay cooler in the upper 80s, even seeing our morning lows back in the mid to upper 60s at that. And Ansley, we're going to go back to Tallahassee and give us a closeout for our local.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the local one more time. Here is Doak Campbell Stadium again. 84 degrees here in Tallahassee, 80s for the most part, exception of Valdosta up there. In terms of our live radar, there's not much going on, not much that's going to stick. Maybe a tiny pop-up over in between Carabel and Port St. Joe, but really a clear night, good night to get outside. As we take a look a little bit closer to the eastern part of the Panhandle, there's a little bit of a pop-up there around Lake City too, but also non-severe as well. Current temperatures around the broader scope of our area, one more time, 80s for the most part, 77 up there in Valdosta, already cooling down a little bit for the night. Future radar, not much to go with, just a couple of pop-ups and a little bit of cloud remnants to look at, but that's about all we've got to worry about rolling into Wednesday. Mostly just clouds, not super overcast though. Tonight in Tallahassee, we're going to get down to 69 degrees, partly cloudy and a little bit of a breeze to help you out there. A little bit going into tomorrow, 87 a.m. clouds, p.m. sun, wind north-northeast at 9 miles an hour. That is going to be a nice day to get outside, a little bit less warm than what we've had it here. But for the week ahead, we're going to see mostly 80s, and that's kind of what we want to see, lower 80s as we get on the back end of the week. But a lot of storm chances coming up Saturday, Sunday, not much during the week, slim to none, pretty much what we've been seeing here in the Tallahassee area. But going into the weekend, we could see finally some more storm chances pop up here. Lows staying mostly in the 60s, 69 there for tomorrow morning, but pretty nice look ahead. Now we're going to take it on over to the desk with Jack and Mila.
And thank you so much, Ainsley. And I don't know about you, Mila, but we had a nice cold front that kind of came through on Friday, brought a little bit of rain finally, because this is September and it's almost the end of the month and we've barely had any rain. So thankfully, hopefully we'll have some rain on Saturday. Unfortunately, though, it is during the football game, so
Yes.
I'm very upset about that. But how are you feeling about that?
I'm just happy for everyone who has plants, you know. They probably needed their grass to be watered, their plants to be watered, but I am also very upset that it will happen to be during the
Yes.
football game.
So yeah, hopefully all of us fans will hopefully get a win this week. I know unfortunately we didn't have one last Friday, but hopefully this Saturday we'll be having hopefully another win. So yeah, very
And that would be
excited
a
about
big win
Yeah.
against Miami too. So yeah,
Yes.
we're very excited about that.
Very excited for that win. So hopefully we'll get that. So make sure you follow us at FSU Weather.
And like us on Facebook at FSU Weather.
And can you follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather?
Subscribe to us on YouTube at FSU Weather.
And finally, follow us on TikTok at FSU Weather. And here is your last 7-day outlook.